Good morning. So this is my first video today, and I wanted to do just a card reading to see if maybe something comes up for somebody who needs to hear this. My name is Hannah Winters, also known as the disreputable Reverend Hannah Winters. I've been doing tarot for a long time now, probably about 20 years. So let's just tap in and see what the universe has to say. And if you're receiving this message right now, it is for you. If you're resonating to whatever comes forward, it is for you. If you wish that it was for you, it's for you. Just connecting to our higher selves, whatever energies and deities you relate to, resonate with, whatever helps you in your life. Here we go. Ooh, wow. Powerful first card, death. So, I know death can be really scary for a lot of us, because death is an ending, and we don't always want things to end, but, I mean, a lot of times we do want things to end. A lot of times it's time for things to end. There are so many things that we like to hold on to that feel comfortable in our lives, but which are not actually serving us at all, and we need to let those things go. And so the death card for me is, I get very excited when I see the death card anymore, because I do know, man, there are so many things that it's more comfortable to hold on to something when it's what we're used to, and sometimes it can be really scary to let go of that, because there's the unknown. You don't know what's going to happen. What's going to take that thing's place? How am I going to live without whatever this thing is, this ending? This ending is it's spooky, you know? The unknowing can be really spooky. So in a lot of ways, the death card, you know, can be overwhelming for people, but I really want to express that it is a very powerful card of transformation. And if you're in a space where you're trying to make big changes in your life, you're trying to make big changes, the death card is your best friend, because you can't put something somewhere if you hear all that crazy construction noise. I don't know what they're doing. But if there's no room for the new thing, where are you going to put it? You know, you got to make room. You got to make space. And a lot of times, what you have to make space for is so much better. It's so much bigger. It's so much greater. It's so much more beautiful. And oh my God, we have the Emperor. Another. Geez, you guys. Another major arcana, the Emperor. The Emperor, man, that's about stepping into sort of your doing, your power. And so the death card, you know, we've got an ending, but then what comes in its place is this energy to get the things done that you're really trying to get done in your life, and to make the changes that you want. And so that's an energy that is present for you, is this sort of Emperor energy. He's the king. He's the big daddy. And he gets the shit done. He gets it done, and he has the stamina to lead and to really like take the it's it's that like doer energy. It's the fire energy, you getting stuff done. So the two of these cards together, man, it's really time for you to to let go of. It's safe for you to let go. It's safe and beautiful for you to let go and to allow death to sort of take its course, because death makes room. And if you spend a lot of time in nature, you'll know that. If you go in the garden, if you look at dirt is a big pile of death. And life springs from dirt. So sometimes you got to do a lot of composting. Sometimes composting is where you're at. Sometimes that's okay. Like, composting is so necessary. You have to compost. I mean, look at this. I'm sitting on compost. These leaves are composting below me, creating a platform for my life. That's what the earth is. You're walking along on death. Like, without death, there is no life, you guys. It's very important. And we're so scared. We're so scared of letting go. We're so scared of change in a lot of ways, even though we crave change and we crave a new way of being. But that's that's why I'm really harping on this death thing. Like, you gotta get right with death, because really she's our friend. She's our really beautiful friend. She has a horrible job in some ways, death, because it does cause pain. But you have what it takes to move to the next space. You have the energy. The Emperor gives you the power and the energy. So you have that too. And once you let go, then that energy is going to come to you, but only when you let go. That's the important part. You have to let it. You have to make room. Oh shit! I swear I didn't. We're getting all major arcana cards, you guys. I swear I did not. We got Justice over here. I didn't rig the deck, I swear. But you're gonna get, ultimately, in a very real fated way, you're going to get exactly what you put in. You're going to transmute all that yuckiness that sometimes comes with letting go, or like the yuckiness that maybe you're trying to shift out of. If you're sitting in a space that you don't prefer, if you're feeling yucky about your situation, Justice lets us know that you're going to get out of it what you put into it. And so if you really allow yourself to step into this journey of letting go of comfort, letting go of what you're used to, letting go of what feels safe, in the service of what you really, 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 really feel magical and amazing doing, you're going to reap that. You reap what you sow. So what you have to do is you have to figure out what you want to reap. What do you want out of your life? And if what you're focusing on is not what you want, then that's what needs to go. That's what needs to die. Is you gotta all these three things, these three ideas sort of works together to create a pathway forward for you in what you're trying to achieve and what you're trying to accomplish. What's funny is that, like, this reading really does relate sort of to my life in a lot of ways and what I'm trying to achieve, and letting go of sort of these limiting ideas. Let me tell you about limiting ideas. If you don't think you can do something, you can't do it. that's a limiting idea. If you think something is impossible, if you think something cannot be, then it cannot be. Nothing's going to be that you don't believe in. So you have to believe in it. But when you do that, when you really like, it's scary. It's very scary. You're stepping into some kind of unknown space. You're stepping into death, allowing death to do its thing, allowing death to compost what needs to go. And it doesn't disappear either. It's still there. It's still part of your foundation. It's still part of what makes you who you are. It's part of your experience. It's part of how you've grown. It's part of how you've been. And that's important, and that's something that you can never change, is who you are and what has made you who you are. But what you can change is where you go next. And how those things affect your life, and how those things how they infiltrate into your existence, and how they sort of set things up in the way that you expect them to be set up. So you have to change your expectations. A lot of this is even just the death card. We could talk for hours about just the fucking death card. Oh, excuse me. That's why I'm the disreputable Reverend. That's my mouth. All right, so man, big three cards that we have here. And if you are feeling like you're stepping into this new space where you really want to tackle big projects, or you wanna sort of move into a place where you have the energy to focus on what you really want to focus on, well, that's coming. That's coming, and it's going to pay off. It's going to pay off if you engage with it. But the first step, all you really have to worry about is, really in a lot of ways, the last two cards, they're sort of giving you permission to engage with this concept of death, this concept of letting go, of allowing things to die. I mean, just look at nature. Everything dies. Nothing doesn't eventually pass away into a new form. But that's what's really happening, is it's not actually disappearing. Nothing goes away. Nothing vanishes. Nothing stops existing. It just may exist in a different form. And that's what death does, is it allows something to move into a new form of being, a new form of existence. And that can be really beautiful and powerful. But don't it's like a grieving process. When somebody dies, you have to process that. You can't just say, oh, well, that's that, and they're gone now, and they're in a more beautiful place, and they've moved on. No, there's still those very real human emotions of sadness and of pain and of letting go, and you have to deal with that too. You can't just sweep all that under some kind of rug and say, oh, for the sake of my, I'm this new spiritual being, and I'm beyond all of that of negative feelings. No, you still have them. I mean, you're still a human. You're living this human life, and things are uncomfortable at times, and letting go of stuff is uncomfortable, and death is uncomfortable, and it's painful, and it sucks. Sometimes it sucks. But it doesn't suck, is when you're at the other side and you've realized that you've let go of these things that you always thought were going to control your experience. You've let go of these things that have always sort of sat with you on your heart, and that have kept you from experiencing and acting in the ways that are very authentic to you and who you are in your soul. And so that's death. You have to make friends with death. I know. I had to do it a bunch of times. I lost very important people to me fairly early on in my journey, and it was not easy. And there's a side of me that knows that happened for a very specific purpose, or maybe not purpose, but that there's a beauty there, and that there's a necessity to death that maybe I don't understand on all levels, but that I do feel deeply, that despite the fact that, like, yeah, on a human level, these people, they're not here with me anymore, but physically, but they are still here with me. And when you can make friends with death like that, when you can understand that she is she is two sides of the same ideal, two sides of the same concept, that then you can really step into a space of acceptance and really moving with death, and allowing things to end. You have to allow things to end. Sometimes shit's gotta end, you guys. All right, and then our last card, we'll see, power. So this guy, in this deck, this is a 7 of Wands. We've got some buffaloes there. I love the buffalo. Or, excuse me, American bison. All right, so this card, I think, just really is sort of reiterating what I was saying, is that, like, use the power of letting go. Use the power of death. To act as like a cleanser, like sort of a cleansing fire, if you will. Really imagine what your life would be like if you allowed certain things to die. Like, what things in your life how would your life benefit if you would allow certain things to die? And the things I'm talking about are maybe, what expectations have you held onto that were given to you by other people that you no longer need to hold on to? Like, what expectations feel like they come from yourself but are actually somebody else's expectations on you, or that are actually like society's expectations on you, like, or your husband's expectations, your parents' expectations, all these people in your life. Sometimes it gets muddy, what we want versus what they want. And I think a big part of that for me, the death card that's coming through right now, is not so much, you don't have to go in and like set fire to your life. I mean, I'm not suggesting that. Please don't. You want to be kind of mindful and thoughtful about this, but really being aware and watching the way that you interact with your life, and seeing the places that feel stuck, and looking into those places that feel stuck, and seeing if there isn't some kind of a residual fear or some kind of an expectation that no longer serves you, that doesn't have to sit there anymore. And you can look at it and you can say, whoa, I didn't realize we still thought that. I didn't realize that was what was in my head. Those are the things that need to die. Those are the things that are ready to pass on. Is anything that keeps you from expressing yourself in your highest power, your most powerful way. Because you are a powerful being. we're all very powerful beings, and the sad thing is that we are living in a space and living in a world right now that disempowers many of us and makes many of us feel very, very not powerful. Myself included, there's been so many times in my life where I've felt not powerful, and that's a falsity. That's a story that they want you to believe. They want you to believe that you're not powerful, and they're wrong. I don't know who they are. They depend, it's your life. I don't know who they is in your life, but whoever they are that wants you to feel not powerful, they're mistaken. Because what I've learned is that, holy cannoli, I have manifested my life every step of the way. I have made choices that have created my life to be the way that it is. And that has happened when my life was crummy and stressful. I recognize that I played a huge part in that. And the reason that I made those choices was because there were stories that I believed were true that needed to die, that needed to, they needed to get put back on the shelf. They needed to be recategorized as fiction. They needed to be shifted into, they needed to be put away. We don't need that anymore, because we're stepping into a place of power. We're stepping into a place where, we have things we want to accomplish. And if we have dreams, if we have big dreams, if we have inspirations, if we have ideas, if we have magic that we want to share with the world, we need to do it, because people need to see that. People need to see magic, because I'm getting all emotional here. But truly, people need to see magic, because there is a lot of magic in the world, and there's an immense amount of pain, and there's an immense amount of darkness, and those of us with a beautiful vision need to be out on the front lines. We need to be out here. We need to be connecting, and we need to be talking to one another about how beautiful life can be, and how beautiful it is, and how it would be so easy to create a world where everyone feels safe expressing themselves as they are. And I think that's what you're here for. That's what I'm here for. And you may not know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. This is my first video. I don't know how to do that. All I know is that I have the skill. I can do the tarot. And I've seen how that has helped. It's helped me find my power. And I think if we could all find our own power, if we could find within us what makes us amazing, because each of us is amazing. We're all amazing. You may look at, I don't know, at some of these people that you see on the internet, and you may think, man, I wish I was amazing like them. I wish that I was magical. I wish that I was an empowered being who's doing what I want to be doing and creating the life I want. Yeah, me too, dude. Me too. But we're doing it. We're doing it. Look at this. Look at all you gotta do. It's easy. All you gotta do is decide. You have to decide to take this first step to say, you know what, maybe I can do the shit that sounds crazy. Maybe I can change the way that people think. But you have to start with you. You have to start with the way you think. And some folks, I know, because the way that I used to think was real crummy. It's not good. We got somebody, It's that stinking thinking, if you want to call it that. But it's anything that says that you are not powerful. That's not true. And I'm not telling you to yell at that part of you that's like doubting, right? I doubt all day. Every day. I'm constantly doubting. Because when you step into this kind of realm where you choose to believe impossible things, everybody's like, well, that's not reasonable. That's impossible. You're crazy. Yeah, I am crazy, all right? I'm crazy to believe that you and me and all of us could all be having a nice time right now. We could. We have the power to do that. We have the power to make the world, because we are the world. We make a great song. But truly, I guess my goal here is that I want all of us to believe in a beautiful place, in a beautiful world, in a beautiful existence. Because I believe in the possibility of a beautiful existence. You know why? Because my existence is beautiful. And it wasn't until I made the changes, until I chose death, until I decided that my comfort or my alignment with what I believed was what I deserved or the best that I could have, that was wrong. And it's wrong about whatever you're thinking too, whatever's going on in your life. There's always a way to shift into something new. And sometimes that's big and scary. And you have to give yourself permission. And you have to feel empowered. And so if you're not at the point yet where you're ready to make a huge change in your life or something, or like maybe it's just tiny stuff, maybe it's little stuff, maybe your life is not greatly horrible. Maybe you're not going through anything terrible. Maybe it's just mundane and you want more magic. Maybe it's fine, but like, man, you really want to, you're dreaming about that trip to Europe, or you're dreaming about I don't know, opening a dog rescue or something. I don't know. Whatever that is, though, whatever it is, I would like to invite you. I'm giving you, if I'm anybody, and who am I? Who am I to you? No one. But I'm giving you permission to dream crazy. I wish that you would. I wish that you would dream crazy. And I wish that through dreaming crazy, you imagine a beautiful world for yourself. And through imagining a beautiful world for yourself, you're going to create a beautiful world for everyone else. If you're creating your own little chunk of beauty in your world, in your life, man, that's one more little beautiful place on the earth. You're doing the Lord's work, truly. Okay, but back to just the reading, I guess. Long story short, I have rambled. Let it go, man. Let it die. Let it die. It's time to let go. Time to let go. Time to compost. Because once you do that, you can really step into your power. You can step into your power and you get what you sow. Every time. You're always getting what you sow. Reaping what you sow, I should say. Alright, well, I guess that's all that I have for us today. I hope you enjoyed my video. I am the disreputable Reverend, Hannah Winters. And I hope to see you again. Let me know if this, I don't know, if any of this said anything to you. please let me know in the comments. I don't really know what I'm doing here. I'm just trying it out, you know? And that's what I'd love for you to do. I'd love for you to decide what's terrifying for you to try out, what's scary, what seems audacious for you to do in your life, and what do you need to let go of in order to make that happen.